Alright, girls, we're learning bearings. Like I said, we learned this last year already. But just as a recap, girls, bearing is a direction marked by an angle. Okay, and then you're going to go clockwise. Just to summarize, so girls, from north, if I go to east, what's the angle from there to there? 90 degrees. Yep. From north, if I go then all the way to south, that would be 180. Similarly, if I go from north all the way to west, that would be 270. And then obviously all the way back to 360. Yep. So bearing is always marked from the north, and you start counting from north. Okay. Furthermore, oh, by the way, girls, bearing needs to come in 3 digits. It's called true bearing. It's got to be 3 digits. What is the angle of northeast then? What's that angle right there? Yeah, 45, because half of 90 is 45. Similarly, that would be southeast. From here to here is 90. If I add another 45, it would be? 135. 135. Good, so southeast is 135. That would be southwest. So we know from here, girls, from here all the way to here is 180. 180 plus another 45. 225. And let's get the last one, northwest. That's 45. So if I just do 360, take away 45, what's that? 315. Thank you. Okay. So, girls, true bearing is when you use the actual numbers. Compass bearing is just basically one of these: northeast, east, southeast, and so on. Okay. It can actually be more specific, and you do need to know this, girls. This is northeast, and what angle would that be then? Half of 45, yeah? Yeah, so that'll be 22.5, okay? I'm just going to mark it. I'm not going to get the actual values, but you need to know this. So the south-southeast, south-southwest, north-northwest. Girls, typical question is they'll ask you to find the bearing of this. Yep? So girls, the bearing is always the angle from north until you hit the line. Yeah? So what's that total angle?
102.
Yeah, 90 plus 12, that's 102 degrees. Yeah? So it's not just 12 degrees. Same thing here. From north, draw an angle until you go all the way until you hit the line. That's what they're asking for. So in order to get that blue angle, yeah, if I do 360 take away the 43, that will give me that remainder, and that's the bearing. What's that? 317. Okay? How about this one, girls? From north until you hit the line, yeah, that would be 90 minus 38, and that would be the bearing for that. So that is 52. So that's pretty straightforward. Okay? Now, let's have a look at some actual worded problem applying this. Girls, a plane leaves a town and remains on a bearing of 122 degrees for 260 kilometers. Girls, with any bearing problem, if you have no idea what to do, the first step is to always just draw a compass with a north sign. Okay, that's your first step. Second step, you mark the angle, not the distance. The second bit, like I said, mark the angle of bearing of 120 degrees. So make an approximate. So that's where you start. Up until here is 90. So if it's 122, obviously we need to go a bit more than that. Stop about there, because if I go all the way here, that's 180. Stop there. That's your 122. Wherever you stopped, that's where you now draw a line starting from the center. Okay? Now I'm going to mark the angles. So you've got 122 degrees. Now that line is the distance within which they've said is 260 kilometers. Okay? So girls, this is always like your origin or your starting point. And this is where, what's the question? A plane leaves a town. So this is where the plane is now. It started off here, it's here. Now you're ready to answer the question. Girls, the first question. How far south of the town is a plane? So this is the town here. So this is a town. It says how far south is the plane. So obviously they're asking for that length here, because that's south of the town. Okay? In order to do that, connect the dots to make a triangle. Okay, as you can see, now this is a right angle here. We got a length here, we got a length there. but we also need an angle inside that triangle, which is the angle inside here. How do we find this? All of this is 180, so 180 take away 122 will give me that. Yep, so I'll just work the working out. 180 take away 22, that's 58. Yep. Okay, so now we have to just label the triangles and do exactly what we did last lesson. All right, what does 260 represent? H, hypotenuse. X, it's in between the marked angle and the right angle. Yeah, so it's A and H, so we got to use cosine of the angle is equal to X over 260. So X is equal to 260 times cosine 58. And if I do that quickly, 38. Okay? Okay, that's the first question. Second question. What is the bearing of the town from the plane? That word from the plane is very important. From the plane, okay? When it says the word from and wherever it's from, that's where you need to start drawing your angle from. So if from the plane, what you want to do is you draw another compass like this. I'll just make it really thick to make sure it's noticeable. From the plane, we want to know the angle until we go back to the town. Can you see that? That's the question. Find the angle from the plane until you get to the town here. All right, in order to find that angle, girls, can you see that we need to know what this angle is? Yep. How would we find that angle there? Yeah, if I do, for that angle, if I do, 180 minus 90 minus 58, what's that? 42? Yep, oh, 32. Thank you. 32. So, this whole thing is then? That's right. The bearing is from here all the way to here is 270. So 270, 32, that's 3. Okay? Yeah, so that's how you calculate the bearing question in word problems. Okay? Very important you get the diagram accurate because obviously if you can see here, if it's not accurate, you'll get the answer wrong. All right. Girls, 2 more questions I want to show you. Question 7a of your exercise of the handout, if you got it. Colin leaves Burke, so that's here, and drives 204 kilometers to Ningen, which is here. They've given you the diagram. The bearing of Ningen from Burke is 127 degrees. Girls, here's my question to you. It says from Burke is 127 degrees. So that means that 127 needs to be marked where B is. So from Burke, that is 127 because that from Burke, the angle is 127 to Ningen. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, the first question is all I'm going to go through because the rest is pretty doable on your own. We need to find that angle. That's exactly what I wanted to write. Going back to year 8 or 7 geometry, can you see that quintilia angles? Do you girls remember the C?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? If you have 2 angles inside, they add up to 180.
Yeah.
So to find that, it's just basically 180, take away 127, and that's 53. Okay? All right? So girls, just an extra fact, if that's 53, using alternate angle, then that would be also 53. Yeah, because of the Z. Yeah, can you see that? Alternate angle. So you need to have those skills to do some of the questions. All right, last question. Question 9. Girls, not a usual question, but sometimes they can trick you by giving you a question like this. A triathlete cycles 20 kilometers on a SSE bearing. Notice they didn't give an actual number, like 127, 130. It's SSE. How far has a triathlete traveled in the southerly direction? All right. Once again, if you have no idea what to do, it's a bearing question, so draw a compass. Yep. Now, the second step, mark the angle. But girls, remember how I went through here? South-southeast is there. So girls, what angle would that be?
22.5.
22.5. That's the reason why I went through it. Okay? So what we need to do is draw that. So south-southeast means that is 22.5 degrees. So that's the angle. And how long is that? What does it say in the question?
20 kilometers.
That line is 20 kilometers. Good. Now, once you've got the two lines and the numbers labeled, draw a triangle and you can go from there. How far has this triathlete traveled in southerly direction? Once again, they're asking for that again. Let's label that X and you know what to do from here. What am I using? Yep, cosine. Okay. Yep. Oops. Can you give me the answer if you put that in the calculator? 18.5. Thank you. All right.